So, hi there, Faith Jacobs here. Been a while. I wanted to put this out here. That the scene that you're about to listen to is a very difficult scene. So, a little backstory. Interviewing Stephen Haggard started out as a play titled Requiem for the Lost for the Men Who Played Mozart, after I discovered two incredible World War II actors who were being forgotten. One of them had fully been forgotten. The other was luckily, lived beyond the war and was established. But Stephen was not so lucky. He did not get to live beyond the war. And this project was a 3-year project that led to the most beautiful of connections. I never imagined I would ever get the chance to ever meet somebody who was the son of Stephen Haggard, of the real Stephen Haggard. And they approved of my play about his father's life. And what a privilege it was to do research and to work alongside the living son, the sole living son of Stephen Haggard. And this project is out of all the projects I've ever done as a writer, rather recently, people keep going back to Chaotic Idiots, but I think the most meaningful bit of work that I have ever done and ever been so privileged to create and honored to be working with someone whose father was a soldier in something very real and very significant and very something that we as a society keep forgetting happened, because we keep forgetting history. Interviewing Stephen Haggard was one of my greatest challenges to create. Because as I said at the beginning, it started out as a project that was about two men who played Mozart in the 30s. And when I did this, I did not know really what I would be falling into when I was researching Stephen Haggard. And it was sometimes the hardest and the heaviest bits of writing that I had ever created. And this is one of those scenes that you're about to listen to. This comes from Act 3 of the play. The book is available on Amazon.com. I would highly encourage you to buy this. If you get none of my other works, I don't care if you ever buy my piece of Mozart work, but if you buy anything, for the love of God, please pick up the Stephen Haggard books titled Flowers by the Wayside, The Story of Courage and Humanity, and Interviewing Stephen Haggard, a short play. Professor Haggard wrote the foreword, so the son of Stephen Haggard approved of both of these books and wrote the foreword to my play, which is beautiful. It was a beautiful gift for him to give me. But the scene that you're about to hear is voiced by myself and Aaron Relf. Hydrate, everybody. Water, because water is necessary. Water or tea, take your pick. The scene you're about to hear was voiced by the beautifully talented Aaron Relf, my friend, and myself, because I did not feel that anyone would be able to do justice to how personal this project felt, and I decided to voice Edith myself. which I never do. I haven't voiced a character. I haven't really done any voice acting, honestly, since 2023, when I was cast in Bluebell Cafe in an extras role, which I'm very grateful for. But I haven't done anything this significant. So what you will hear in the booth from both Aaron and I in this little snippet of sequences from the play that we recorded, it's just been very difficult to get it out, only because of life intervening and tech problems, and I had wisdom teeth out, and this project, however, was a labor of love. It was a letter of love to Stephen Haggard. It was a letter of love to what this man fought for and sacrificed, and the mental health that he faced amidst fighting, battles not only in his own mind, but most specifically, the battles that he fought that he has not been honored for. Because 3 years of trying to get even a plaque just to remember this man sometimes feels in vain, because nobody answered me. Nobody got back to me. And if they did, it was to try and tell me they had already honored this man, when I don't see that happening at all. It's not happened. And they don't want it to. For whatever reason, they don't want to honor him as much as they don't want to honor anybody else, who we forget. Stephen's story is fallen by the wayside. As I said, it is a flower by the wayside, which is inspired by an assessment that somebody had of him. That very poetic title is inspired by something that he said, and something of an assessment that somebody had of him in his life. And so Stephen liked to pluck the flowers by the wayside, and that was my first impression of him, that he would always stop to pick the flowers by the wayside. So Stephen is a very important figure in this play, and he was an important person to write about. But as I've been trying to say in this ramble, that the scene you're going to hear, the emotions are very raw. The story touched both Aaron and I. It's a very tense sequence. The subject matter is very much implied. But this was all pulled directly from the book of which the play is inspired by, called All Go to Bed at Noon, by Stephen Haggard, a soldier's letters to his sons, where Stephen admits some very candid things in these letters. When you read the actual memoir that Stephen wrote, it will feel like a very intimate experience. You will feel like you are sitting right next to him as he is typewriting these things on a typewriter. And he's writing these like he is running out of time, because he is. He's about to go away. And he may not see his children ever again. He may not see his wife ever again. As a matter of fact, what's sad is he doesn't. And that is what this play is all about, is that Stephen doesn't have enough time. There's never enough time. And Edith is acting as you, the audience. You get to see him through her eyes. And she asks him some very candid questions, some very, what she calls impertinent questions here, in this particular sequence. And when they do that, they're not recording. It's not in an interview style. They are simply to set the scene. They are in Stephen's country house. They have vacated to the country because it was not safe in the city. In the play, they survive an air raid together, and now they are in Stephen's country home. and in Act 3. And it is a very tough conversation. So, I mean, even listening back to my own work, this was the hardest scene I had to act. It genuinely choked me up, and I was the one arranging the dialogue. But, you know, it is... Men's mental health back in the 1930s was not very much discussed. There was truly no therapy, not really. If there was therapy, it was not talked about. And there were it was a different view of masculinity. So for Stephen to wear his heart on his sleeve like he does, Aaron portrays that so beautifully here. I normally wouldn't do an intro to a lot of my things, but I feel like it must be said here that for the love of all things, please understand that I did not write this. This is my most mature piece of work. This play and the book, Flowers by the Wayside, are two very, very mature pieces. They are not for anyone who is under the age of 18. I wouldn't even say 18. I would say I would want you to be over the age of 21 to understand this play. Like, no one younger should be listening to this or should be engaging with this content. It is strictly for adults. It deals with infidelity. It deals with mental health. It deals with a real man's thoughts and feelings, and very difficult subject matter that was really hard to... I was very lucky I had Aaron as support while working on this project, and he fully supported me, and we supported each other through this project. It was very much something we did together as friends, and as people who are also historians, and we understand the history of World War II from both our sides. I am from America, and he is from England, and he helped me so much with this project. So I owe a lot to Aaron for not only taking on the role, but for being a support for me, and as and vice versa. We gave each other so much grace through a very difficult recording of this play. So, without further ado, this is a preview of Edith and Stephen Haggard from Scene 7 in Act 3. It feels inappropriate to say enjoy, but I hope that you are moved by our performances. Thank you.
Oh, none for me, thank you.
Suit yourself.
I don't smoke. I have a rather personal question to ask, and perhaps we'll keep it off the record if you wish. I don't want to pry, Stephen.
Strange. I must say you're oddly considerate for a BBC journalist.
Well, you're not a spectacle to me. You're a man. That's who I've been speaking to. You're not some faceless actor. You're important to others. You're important to so many people. You're not some faceless actor. You have a wife, sons, friends who wish you well. You have everything and more, and yet you're on the verge of losing it. Or so you say. Therefore, if you think it not so impertinent nor poking about, may I ask you this question, Stephen?
You make a compelling argument. You may ask me.
Throughout all of this, you speak as if the future isn't waiting for you with a wife and children. As if there isn't hope for you. We can't control when our time comes, not even I can, but may I ask, if you've always been so hopeless, where did it start? Was it before the war? Is your marriage not all what you've made it out to be?
I'm afraid to say you've asked a complicated question, Edith.
You need an answer.
No. I shall. I suppose. At one time, when I was cruelly in love with someone who I could never hope would love me, I thought of dying. As most people do in similar circumstances.
What? Oh, Stephen, why? Why? Did you want to...
To die? Well, it was not so much that I wanted to die. It was that I could not manage to live the life I valued, the life of the spirit and of the imagination, without her presence and her love. Yet my life did not seem a significant sacrifice to my love for her, or the taking of it, a significantly final alleviation.
Oh, Stephen.
For the pain I felt. Yes. I imagined you're right.
No, I don't really know what to say.
You daren't say anything. Besides, even in those days, the prospect of war was never far distant. And I felt that with so much fighting to be done, life, even my life, ought not to be wantonly and ineffectually thrown away. Instead, it was a kind of spiritual demise that I committed. I shifted my desire for good, my faith in the future, my love for my friends, and all the aspirations towards beauty for which I had struggled with then. And I killed all hope in myself. I abandoned my mind to every nihilistic and destructive concept I came in contact with, and the strange and paradoxical result of all this was... Well...
What? Well, you're clearly here, but...
Why? To make me write poetry.
Poetry? The real hero?
Yes. Out of the murdering of my spirit was created a new form of life for my spirit, a spontaneous and vigorous regeneration of all that I had most desired to kill. Life, it seems, refuses to be destroyed, and will flower most strongly just when we think it can be easily suppressed.
Out of the darkness blooms the light, even if it is small.